The first of the lands created by Ahura Mazda, the Zoroastrian Jehovah, was Arianum Vaishya. Arianum Vaishya, which literally meant expanse of the Aryans, was believed to have been located, is believed somewhere northeastern Iran or Central Asia. It eventually evolved into the new Persian, Iranvish, that gave its name to modern day Iran. And also the Sasanian Empire was also known as Iran Shahar. The second of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was Sugda. It was known to Greeks as Sogdiana and is identified with the present day city of Samarkand in Uzbekistan, a former Soviet socialist republic in Central Asia. The third of the lands that Ahura Mazda created was Moru. During the Middle Ages, it emerged as an important trading center in Central Asia by the name Merv. Following its conquest by the Russian Empire in the 1800s, the name of the city was changed to Mary as a part of the Russification of the Muslim people of Central Asia. The fourth of the regions created by Ahura Mazda was Bhakti, also known in Old Persian as Bactri. Bactri was also known to Greeks as Bactria and was located in northern Afghanistan. Presently known as Balkh, it is a province in northern Afghanistan which also shares the name of its capital. Bactri or Balkh also had one of Zoroastrianism's most famous fire temples and was the holiest of holies to Zoroastrians. A Zoroastrian Mecca, uh, in fact. It is quite probable that the prophet Zoroaster or Zarathustra was born at this very place. And according to Bundahish, a book of prophecies, Soshant, the Kalki avatar of the Zoroastrian religion, would be born in Balkh. At right now, the only remnant of its golden age are its um, the only remnant of the city's golden age is its powerful citadel, which which gives us a brief idea of how this fortified town once stood majestically over the plains. It has a reputation of having witnessed continuous sieges for 2000 years. The fifth of the lands created by Ahura Mazda is Nisaya. The identity of this place is yet to be established. The sixth of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was Haraiva, which is identified with the town of Herat, the town and the province of Herat in the western part of Afghanistan. Herat is today one of the biggest cities in Afghanistan, only after Kabul and Kandahar. This, the seventh of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was Vaikrita. This was a place from which a prominent demon once emerged, according to Zoroastrian legends, and a Zoroastrian hero named Grushasp lived. Since Grushasp or Kreshaspa was associated with eastern Afghanistan, or more particularly the Kabul Valley, it is believed that Vaikrita too was located somewhere in the Kabul Valley. The eighth of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was a place called Urva. It was located somewhere in central Iran, but its exact location has not yet been determined. The ninth of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was Veherkana. Veherkana is the present day Gurgan, located in Turkmenistan, a former Soviet republic, probably very close to the town of Merv that I have already spoken about. Both are located close to Caspian Sea. The tenth of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was Haravaiti, which was located near Herat in western Afghanistan. Haravaiti is named after a river, the Persian form of the river Saraswati. And even today, there is a river by that name in western Afghanistan. The 11th of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was Hetumant. It has been identified with a lake named Hilmand, lake named Hilmand in western Afghanistan, a few miles to the south of Herat. The 13th of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was Ragai, which is identified the town of Ray in central Iran, or northern Iran, north central Iran, just south of the Caspian Sea. This is the 8th of the lands created by Ahura Mazda. The 9th of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was Kakara. Its location is yet to be identified. The 10th of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was Varena. There is a reference to six-cornered Varena, and it is a holy land, a good counterpart of the evil Vaikrita. The 9th of the land, Ragai and Kakra were the 12th and 13th lands created by Ahura Mazda, and not the 7th and 8th. So Varena was the 14th of the lands created by Ahura Mazda. The 15th of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was Sapta Hindu, which was the Persian form of the Sanskrit Sapta Sindhu, the 7 Induses, the 7 rivers that seven tributaries of the Indus. This was obviously this was obviously a reference to the Indus Valley, the only part of India that was known to the ancient Persians, or rather known intimately to the ancient Persians, and is probably proof that the Indus Valley formed a part of the Iranian world at that time. The 16th and last of the lands created by Ahura Mazda was Ranga. It was also referred to as Arvastan Erum in later texts, or Roman Arabia, or Roman Mesopotamia rather. This was Mesopotamia, or the present day Iraq. Iraq was once a stronghold of Zoroastrianism. I mean, the period between the Achaemenid, the 5th century BC, when the Achaemenids came to power, and the 7th century AD, when the Sasanians, the last of the great Persian empires, was displaced by the Arabs. During this time, Zoroastrianism ruled the roost, and Mesopotamia was very much a part of the Iranian world, and many great Persian commercial centers and fortified towns dotted these areas, along with their fire temples, and plenty of inscriptions have been found in these areas. So when were these verses actually compiled? The inclusion of Hapta Hindu among the regions created by Ahura Mazda is probably an indication. The Indus Valley became a part of the Persian Empire, or the Iranian world as we know it, as we consider it today, during the time of Darius the Great, and it remained so during much of Achaemenid rule. So the Avesta was probably compiled sometime during the 6th century BC. Apart from the 16 good lands created by Ahura Mazda, the Vendidad also contains plenty of curses and spells, and also a list of holy and unholy animals. The eccentricism of the Avesta goes to the extent of requesting its followers to kill animals that were considered unholy by the Zoroastrians. The list of unholy animals included tortoises. The tortoise was referred to as the Vangapara dog in the Avesta, and the list of holy animals included the Sag, the dog, and the Zairim Engura, or the porcupine. Crimes were to be punished with whiplashes, and the biggest crime was punished with 200 lashes of the whip. This punishment was named Peshutan, and was usually awarded to one who committed capital crimes like burning a dead body, or causing or desecrating a holy fire, or killing one of Zoroastrianism's holy animals like the dog or the porcupine. This was an indication of how Zoroastrianism as a religion was practiced. But to what extent the rules were adhered to, we never know. Zoroastrianism survived Islamic conquest by about 2 centuries. Farrukhzad a brother of the fabled Zoroastrian general, Sasanian general, Rostam Farrukhzad, who lost his life at the Battle of Al Qadisiyah, uh, established himself as an independent king in northern Iran. His successors were known as the Babandids, and they um, fought the Arabs and later submitted to them. They retained the religion, remained Zoroastrians till the 9th century AD, and so did many other important Parthian feudatories of the Zoroastrian Parthian feudatories. But by the time the Mongols arrived on the scene, and the Mongol conquest happened in the 12th century, Zoroastrianism had declined greatly, and the Mongol conquest made them a minority. Till then, the majority of Persians, it is believed, were Zoroastrians.